Hello, Michael here, and tonight we're going to check out how to connect a Java program to the MySQL database. So this is basically how to write an application in Java that connects to the database, well, MySQL or MariaDB, and ask questions like we usually do with select statements. So we're going to ask create those queries, send them to the database, and then we're gonna get the result sets back. And then we're just gonna sort of walk through the result set and print them out to the users. So something like that is the idea. So to be able to do this, I have created a example program. So I'm right here in it. So the start for this should be to go to the README. So that contains a lot of details on how to set up the environment, how to get the correct database, how to get the correct user, and all that stuff sort of to be able to work with the database. But I think I'm going to skip this README. I'm going to stick with the programs here. And the first program we're going to try is just connect to the Java. So let's see if we can sort of get going here. I also have this here behind me. So maybe I could sort of just move it around a bit there. I just want to sort of go there. Maybe, let's see. So here we have a lot of, we have the large README file, so it's a markdown, so you can read it like this. And yeah, it's a lot of documentation about the stuff that I have used to build my example programs. So here is the stuff sort of you need to know to actually use it and improve my example programs to make it the real deal. So I think I'm gonna leave that and I'm gonna go with a connect program directly. So we can check that out in a minute. I will just try to sort of create run it first. So let's compile. You know what? I think I'm going to try and compile all the files. Can I do that? Oops, seems like that. Oh, everybody is compiled. Excellent. Then I can go into the connect. So I'm going to run that Java connect. So this example program is just supposed to connect to the database just to show that we can build a connection. But we have no suitable driver, it says. Let's make it a bit larger. No suitable driver. So to be able to connect to the database, we need a driver. And in this example, we have it in the lib directory. So lslib, that was the one. So lslib, here we got the MySQL connect Java. It's a jar file, so I have downloaded that from the MySQL website. So that is the connector that I'm going to use to be able to sort of connect to the database. I'm also going to use what is called JDBC, so it's a Java database connector. And the documentation for that is available on the Oracle Java site. So still, let me see how I can do this. So I'm going to call the connect there. Connect. Once more, connect. There. And I need to add the class path. And the class path here would then be lib/all, everything in the lib directory. And since I'm on Windows there, I'm going to end it with a semicolon. And let's see if that works. Yay, excellent. It worked. So we see, let's see. So we see a few things happening here. Let's connect to the database. So we have a connection string there. Okay. So it has a host name, a database name. That is the world database I'm going to use for this example. It has a user. And it has a password. All the sort of standard connection details I would use if I sort of started up my terminal client here. And here we can also see that we are using sort of the JDBC to MySQL. Okay, good. So everything worked. That is just a class that is used. Okay, so let's see. Let's see how the code looks. So here we have the code. Where should we start? I think we can start here, because here is the stuff. This is basically the only stuff that this example program actually do. So it connects to the database. So it uses a driver manager that has a method get connection, and it has some connection details that can also be sort of spelled out as DSN, data source name. And so it actually connects to the database there and save everything in the connection object. And that is all. So since obviously these things can go wrong, it's nice to do a try catch for it. If we get an error, it's nice to print out a lot of error messages. It helps us troubleshoot, understand what's happening basically. And we can also check the DSN. So the string there, that is the data source name. It is just a string saying that we're going JDBC to MySQL. We're going to stay on localhost. We're going to use the world database. We're going to use the Maria user, and we're going to use the password there. These connection details, there are more methods with other ways to use them, but I'm going to stick with this throughout the example programs. And finally, we can see here up there, so we're going to use the Java SQL package, and we are imported the connection, the driver manager, and the SQL exception. Okay, fine. That is all. Connected to the database. Let's move on to the next one. So what do we have here? I'm going to clear my screen and see. So connect. I'm going to go with a select one there. So let's see. You know what? I don't think I'm gonna sort of add the class path to all the programs that I'm gonna sort of use. So I'm just gonna add the class path here instead, and let's see if that works. Something like that, hopefully. And then I can run the select one, I said were. Select one program. Okay, great. Let's see. So we have this connection. Okay, we got that one. Fine, we don't need to look at that. So here is then a statement. So create a statement and execute a query. So the SQL query seems to be there. Just select 1 + 1 as sum, so it's going to be a 2. And we see down here that we're printing the 2. So obviously we had executed that query and we got the result set, and that is just the object we're printing out. Okay, so let's go over and check the code there. So select 1. So the difference here is that we are now using a statement and a result set also. So we can go down here. Here we see we do the connection, and let's see what's happening here. So we are creating a statement. So we're using the connection to create a statement, and we have it there. Then we're going to prepare the SQL statement just as a string. Good. Okay, so then we can execute the query and get the result set. So we're going to use the statement there and execute the query, and it's going to be the SQL statement. So, and that will return a result set that we can sort of work with. This result set only contains one row, one value, but it is sort of an iterative. It is an object that we can iterate through. So when the result set is there, it's only prepared. So we need to get the next row of it. So I do that. Good. And then I can print it out. And besides everything there, I'm going to get the column there. I need to know what type it is. And then I can also say, okay, it is the sum column. It's the sum column there. This is the one I'm going to get from the result set. Okay, that was single value. Okay, Good, I think we got this now. So let's go on and check the Java select many. So let's see how that works. Ooh, a lot of things happening. Oops, look here. Haha, that's nice. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 countries. So let's just skip what we know. We have a connection there. We're going to create a statement and execute a query. We're using something here, let's call prepared statement. Okay, let's see what that is. There seems to be the select code, or select SQL statement. And then we're printing out. So we're obviously doing a select from the world database and printing out 7 countries. So let's see, select many. Okay, so the difference is here that we're using a prepared statement instead of a statement. And prepared statement is that is basically the thing, usually the way to go. It's one thing it has that is, it can prepare one statement and then you can execute it many times with different arguments. Another thing it has is that it is a secure way to build up the SQL statements, so it will escape everything that is sort of put in as an argument into it. So it will escape it, so it is basically a secure way to avoid SQL injections and those sort of things we don't want to have. So let's see how we are using it. We got the connection, right? We are sort of creating the select statement there. And we see down here that we have sort of a question mark, and that is this sort of prepared statement that is going to be replaced with an argument when we execute this. So we are preparing the statement there and we're using the SQL code. Okay, so we got the statement and then we're going to execute the statement down there, right? I'm just going to scroll down there. So here we go. So we got a variable limit there and we're going to sort of set that I'm just going to scroll down here, scroll up. So we have the SQL statement. So we have one question mark. So when we execute this, we need to replace that question mark with an argument. So here we are sort of basically doing that. We are preparing a variable just to show a bit more verbose what's actually happening. And then we have the statement, and we're setting an integer at the sort of first question mark with that value. So this will actually sort of replace that one when it's executed there. So it still looks the same, statement execute, and we get the result set. And then it takes a lot of sort of code down here. It's a lot of printing code just to print this nice table down there. But the actual sort of database part traversing the result set, it is here. So there we do a while loop around the result. So we're getting a new row from the result set each loop, and then we're printing it out each new row, and from the result set there we are sort of getting the value. So we need to say if it's an integer or if it's a string or whatever. And since we have this code name region, we can see that the name or code name region up in the SQL statement. So there you see a connection there. The name of the column can be used when I want to extract it down there. So fine, that was that. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, so what do we have here? Search. Let's have a search one. So Java search. Java search. Like that. Okay. So let's see what's happening here. Enter the search string. Okay. I want to go with Sweden. So let's see if that works. Oh, hi. So I could search for Sweden. Nice. Let's see if I search for land. What happens then? Oh, look there. A lot of land. Netherland. Australia and land. Iceland. Okay, so it searched with a sort of a part of the string also with a like. Okay, nice. I do think that I'm just going to quit there. And let's go in and see how that code is built up there. Search. So we're having the same input or package classes up there. Okay. We still do the same connection, nothing odd there. We're preparing a statement there. Now we have one, two, three, four question marks that need to be replaced when we execute this. So let's see how we do this. So we're using the scanner, we're preparing some variables. We're doing this in a loop until everything is quit. Okay, so it seems to be here that the actual database code is done. We're getting the next line into the search variable, and here we do a search all. This is just sort of concatenating a string. Okay, good. So then we are sort of replacing the first question mark with search. We're replacing the second question mark with search all. And the third one, search all, and the final one with the limit. And then we're going to execute it. Okay, so if we can have this on the same page, okay, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, yeah. I sort of understand how it's matched and what the query is. Okay, good. I do think this is the stuff, sort of. Prepare it, execute it, and then just print it like we did before, so we don't need to go into, well, it's down here somewhere. So we're going to print it in the same way we did before. So that was the search one. So what do we have left? I do think we have an insert, delete, and an update. So let's go through them. We're going to do Java with the insert. Not going to do like that. I'm going to do insert. There we go. So add a new country. Oh, okay. So let's have a code for the country. Queer. Okay. QWERTY is the name of the country. Okay. And the region somewhere. Okay. Good. So we see that something happened. It's still using prepared statement there. Rows affected of last statement seems to be 1. Okay. So let's see how this worked. So we have the insert. There we go. Insert Java. Okay. So this looks the same. We still have the connection. We're still preparing the prepared statement using the SQL. We're still using 3 question mark this time. We entering and getting the code, the name, the region there as variables. And then we sort of, let's go ahead and execute this. So we're using the statement and setting code, name, region to replace 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So we're replacing that, and then we execute it here. So here we can see that the statement execute update, it doesn't return a result set because it only sort of writes into the database. So there is no result set to sort of think about here. So what can you do to actually check that it happened? Basically, you can't do much. So you should just sort of assume that if you didn't update insert like this, so the method is execute update, but I'm still doing an insert. But you can't really sort of verify that it worked. But you can assume, since it since it don't send throw an exception, then you should say, okay, I trust you. One thing that could be sort of checked up is how many rows were affected about the last statement, so we can get an update count with, obviously here's an insert statement, so it usually should be 1 there. But we really can't use that other for some sort of detailed information purpose. So this was the sort of insert. So maybe we could check out the update. So if we know our insert, update, and delete, they look rather much the same. So if we do an update here, so update country name and region. So code, which country do we want to update? We want to update the QUI. And we don't also, okay, queer the island. That is the name of it. And region is somewhere hot. Okay, so that is the land. So here we just see a lot of debug out scripts. We see the prepared statement, the SQL code that is sort of actually here. Could be good to sort of review the output here, because here we see the actual prepared statement that has replaced the question mark. So that could be good for debugging. So still we got a row affected, but this last statement is 1. Okay, nice. So let's just check that out also. Update. Same setup all the way down, and we have the prepared statement here with the SQL doing an update with 1, 2, and 3 question marks. So we're gonna read it from the user, from the terminal, and then we're gonna sort of prepare the statement again, putting the code on position 3 this time. Yes, position 3 is the code, and the name and the region is up there. So it's really important to have the right position, correct position there. And then we just execute it, update. It's an update statement. It usually returns a one row, but yeah, of course you could sort of, depending on, it could update many rows or it could update 0 rows also. So, okay. And you know what? This is the last example program we have here, so it's going to be the delete. Do I want to? No, you know what? I really want to see that that the country is here somewhere before I'm going to delete it. Yes, it's down there. Okay, excellent. Now I can delete it. So Java delete, and which country to delete? Okay, delete from country, rows affected 1. Okay, what happens if I delete it again? Queer. Okay, so execute the statement, but 0 rows affected, since there were no rows with that one. So there we go. It's bygone. And to just conclude this, let's see on the delete code. It basically, I think you got the hang of it now. So get the connection. Okay. Prepare some SQL code. And then really, in most cases, you should go with the prepared statement. That would be sort of the best way. And really, when you are using sort of putting an argument into the SQL statement like this, then it should be a prepared statement. So go with that. So there we go. And which country to delete? So read it from the user, and then we do it the same way. Set string, position 1, the value, execute the update. So it's updating the database, and that is execute update, even if it's insert, update, or delete SQL statement. So yeah, I do think that was all. So how about that? That was an example program doing a lot of sort of Java code, connecting to the database. Yeah, we done it. So thanks for now. You should download this example program, try it out, review it, and then you are on your own. Create a nice application now. Okay. Thank you. Bye bye.